Well, hello and happy August 2023. It's hard to believe our summer is whisking along so quickly in this beautiful weather we are so lucky to have here in the Pacific Northwest. We're not sweltering, we're just enjoying the beautiful sunshine as long as we possibly can, right? Of course, no rain in the forecast soon. So we want to make sure everybody's protected using their sunscreen, especially those beautiful, lovely sun-kissed sunscreen, which we'll be talking a little bit about today. Today's topic is Skincare 101, how to keep and maintain and reduce your ocular and facial rosacea. This is important for ocular surface disease and dry eye because, believe it or not, a foundational part of OSD comes from our face and the inflammation that's happening and brewing in our face, which causes a skin gland issue, which creates an ocular surface inflammatory stew pot, which makes the ocular surface dry eye worse. So we can do so many things that are over the counter to help calm that inflammation down. Gabby, our esteemed advanced laser esthetician, is going to go over what that skincare regimen is, so those of you with rosacea know what to do. And this is something that I do on a daily basis as well, following her advice also, which has helped really heavily with my dry eye. And of course, I keep using some of our IPL treatments to help mitigate with that. We want to make sure people are prepping for their energy treatments, and this is the best way to do that, maintaining your wonderful glow without extra redness. And so I'm going to let Gabby take it away, and she is our star here, and we are going to put you in the spotlight, woman. And here we go.
All right. So the reason that we're going over skincare today is because not only is this essential just in general for dry eye, but it helps you prep the skin for treatments. And this is about like 60% of what takes care of your eyes. 40% is me and Amy doing treatments. So we want to make sure that we support the pH of the skin, the eyes, and just the general barrier function of your skin before, during, after treatments, or even some people can get away with skincare to reduce that rosacea enough to let their eyes have a little bit of a break. I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll keep on talking about ingredients. But for those of you that use OcuSoft, this is the first step to your skincare routine. Not only is this a makeup remover, but it also helps with those little pesky Demodex. And I'm normally put this between both hands and I'm in the shower and I go like this, but because I am nervous about having both my eyes closed on camera, I'm going to do one. This one you do for 30 seconds, adjust back and forth, keep your eye closed, because even though it does have healthy ingredients for the eyes, soap stings if you open your eyes. This is going to help to get rid of those pesky little critters, any dirt or debris, and especially during allergy season. I like to use this multiple times a day because I have friends with cats. I am an allergic girl. And so I find this one in my routine a good amount. And normally if I'm in the shower, I'm putting my head under the water and I'm just rinsing it off that way. If you do not use OcuSoft, if for some reason you're sensitive to it because of the sulfas or anything like that, this is when you would use coconut oil. Take off makeup, help with the Demodex, all that good stuff. Next would be cleansing the skin. And why choosing a cleanser is important. So I have the Bubbly Fresh here. This one has niacinamide, which is awesome for rosacea. It's going to help even out skin tone, as well as it has antioxidants, which are an anti-inflammatory, which is amazing for rosacea. This is going to balance the pH. So not only is it going to make your skin and eyes happy, but it's going to allow your other serums to go ahead and sink in a little bit better. This cleanser is fantastic for all skin types. As you can see, well, maybe not, my skin likes me right now. I'm more acne prone. For dry skin, this is awesome, and mature skin, and then even oily like mine. Again, I normally do this in the shower, so I am a little bit messy with my cleanser because normally I bring it down to my neck as well, since I bring down my skincare products. But I'm just going to do my face so that you don't have to see me struggling to wipe everything off. Very similar to the OcuSoft. I like to scrub for 30 minutes or 30 seconds, just to make sure that any dirt, because I know a lot of us are doing, yard care and all of that, any oils, things like that are coming off the skin. You do not need a lot of this cleanser. A little goes a long way. There's one time when we had the old bottles where they were a squeeze bottle instead of a pump bottle that I accidentally got too much out. And I was like suffocating in bubbles trying to rinse it off my face in the sink. So a little does go a long way. And now you can see, I got a couple of my little spots that now you can see that I have my sunscreen off. Some people, if you wear a good amount of makeup, will do 2 cleanses with this, or they'll do 2 cleanses with the OcuSoft, getting their whole face. That's totally fine. I like to say, you know, your face is clean when you can kind of see those bubbles doing their thing, even though I know that technically isn't the case. It makes me feel better about it. So Bubbly Fresh is the first of our core 4. Some optional things you can do after the Bubbly Fresh is a toner. This one's a moisturizing and soothing one. Not necessary, but it is pH balancing and it adds extra moisture. I mostly use this if I'm on an airplane, hence the travel size. Another thing that is optional, if you have dry skin, which I have combination because I have eczema, hyaluronic acid, which is our Dew Restore. Not only is HA a really great ingredient for rosacea, but in general, just adding extra moisture to your skin is going to make your barrier super happy. Another thing I like to use this for is actually as an eye serum. And the reason I like that is because, again, I'm eczema prone and I will get it on my upper lids where I have a bit more of that dry skin. So I will go in, and you want your face slightly damp when you use hyaluronic acid. I'll go in literally right on top of the lid. And this is great because OcuSoft can also be a little bit of a stronger cleanser. So just getting in that moisture again with something with such simple ingredients really helps. You can use this on the whole face. I've used it as even a chapstick before. You just want to make sure your skin is slightly damp because it will draw moisture in. So if there's no moisture on the skin, then it's going to draw moisture from it. So if you're using a moisturizing serum, that would be the first serum on your face. After that, the second part of our core 4, which is Calm, Cool, and Corrected. This is technically an antioxidant. So I like to recommend when you use this, use it in the morning because antioxidants not only are anti-inflammatory, but help fight against free radical damage, AKA the other damage from the environment that is not from the sun. So this is a great ingredient for rosacea as well, not only because of those antioxidants, but because of the green color. It actually helps to counteract that redness and it cools down the skin. And this, I like to use candy measurements. I use about the size of a Skittle for my whole face and neck because a little does go a long way. Now, this would be your morning serum. If you just had an IPL treatment, this is a really good serum to add on at night as well, just because it is so calming. But say, you're not doing any treatments, you want to have something maybe a little exfoliating at night, you could throw in a retinol. Retinol and azelaic acid are one of the only chemical exfoliants that rosacea doesn't hate. So it's a really good option. I have the old bottle, but this is our face retinol that we have, the Anti-Gravity Wonder. I've actually started retinol about 3 months ago. I brought it into my routine a little bit more than I used to. I like to say, work it in 1 to 2 times a week, and then you can kind of up that as your skin tolerates it. I don't really use retinol around my eyes. We do have an eye-specific retinol, but again, since I get the eczema on my upper lid, I don't like to play around with that. But I will show you, and this photo is going to terrify you. So
Great.
go ahead and get that.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. Okay. This is a before and after of me using retinol. Do we have that on the screen?
Oh.
So right here, so I use it for acne purposes. I get a lot of hormonal acne. So that's why it's surrounding kind of the mouth jawline area. And this is 2 months of me using retinol pretty religiously. So rosacea oftentimes accompanies acne. So it's another reason why I really like bringing it in. And you can even see I have a bit of that redness in that before photo on the tops of my cheeks that is evened out with the use of retinol. So I really like adding it in when you are not doing IPL or laser treatments. And again, it's one of those things where do it as your skin tolerates, because it can dry your skin out and your face will tell you whether you should be using it right now or not. I've worked up to using it every night, but sometimes I get a little bit of dryness, specifically right through here, where I'll take a couple nights off from it. So that would be the night serum. I like to buffer it. So you mix it with your lotion and then you can apply more lotion on top. So it makes it a little bit less irritating. But that's a great option for kind of evening out those tones. Moisturizer, the Revive. This one is my holy grail. I love this stuff so much. Because whether you have oily skin or dry skin, I have both. I get the T-zone area oily. It's a really even moisturizer for just about anyone. I've got my little sister, which she's 14, and in that kind of hormonal teenager area of her life where this stuff is awesome for her, and even she's doing sports and all of that, and she loves it. And then I even had people like my mom try it out, where it's a really good just all over moisturizer. And like everything, I like to bring it down to my neck and décolleté, because the things that show your age are your hands and your chest. So you always want to make sure that those are included. Again, one pump, like a little bit, goes a long way with all these products, and you'll be able to feel it when they kind of glide over the skin. You're not really fighting it. This is where, if you are a ZocuShield user, I like to apply this. And like everyone knows that uses it between the fingers, over the lashes. I also like to use this if I have a sty. I'll use it a little bit more often. And it's one of those where it kind of almost just like a spot treatment for acne, where I feel like the next day it's so much better. So that's a good thing to kind of keep in mind. But lastly, the most important, if you were to do anything in this entire routine, sunscreen. We have two different options. We have the non-tinted, kind of more traditional sunscreen, the Glisten, and we have everyone's favorite, the Sun-Kissed. Again, being more acne prone, I like to kind of mix them. I call it the Goldilocks method, where I get a pump of the Sun-Kissed. This one's awesome because it's more like a BB cream. And then I do a pump, about a half pump of the Glisten. And this one is really awesome because it is both of them are non-oil formulas, but it makes it where I really like having that dewy kind of shine. So the Sun-Kiss is a little too matte for me, where I want to have a little bit of that shine. So I get the coverage from the Sun-Kissed, but I get that kind of glisten from the Glisten. So again, ears, neck, décolleté. I don't care if you're inside an office all day. If you have a window in your house, you want to wear sunscreen. I'll put this on my lids and just make sure that it's all rubbed in. And you can even see the redness that I have right through here. It's not a foundation, but it has kind of toned that down a bit. And lastly, of course, I don't care which one you use, some kind of SPF chapstick, because as you can see, I got a margarita burn going right now. And it is one of those things that it is so easy to burn because everyone forgets, and they have the yummiest chapsticks that are SPF ever. These ones I'm not picky about, just make sure you check the ingredients. You want to avoid oxybenzone, because especially if it's on your lips, you don't want to be ingesting that. At this point, you would apply your makeup if you are a makeup person. And that was the super kind of long version of a regular skincare routine, because normally this takes you about 5 minutes, just slapping these on back to back if you're not yapping like I am.
Thank
Gabby,
you,
I have a
Gabby.
question. Does it matter in what order you do any of the products?
Yeah, so I like to say smallest molecule to biggest molecule. You want to make sure that those smaller things like eye cream or eye serums are the smallest. So that would be like your hyaluronic acid. You want to put that on first. Then you go in with your other serums. So I like to say if it's nighttime and you want to counteract the retinol with a little bit of moisture, you would put on a hyaluronic acid, let that dry and sink in, because you never want to apply retinol to damp skin. So I like to put this on, I'll wait like 5 minutes, I'll put my night guard in, I'll grab some water, whatever it is, and then I'll do my retinol. So that's kind of a way that you can layer Otherwise though, if you're just using one thing before moisturizer, like say you're just using this, slap that on, slap the moisturizer on top, because this has a smaller molecule that will go deeper into the skin and kind of do more benefit for you without getting caught up in the moisturizer.
And what about like moisturizer to sunscreen? Would you do moisturizer and then the sunscreen?
Yeah, because sunscreen, especially mineral sunscreen. So the difference between mineral versus chemical is that mineral sits on top of the skin and UV rays bounce off it. That is what we are looking for when we have a sunscreen, because chemical sunscreen, it absorbs into the skin and it causes heat by kind of diffusing that UV damage. So not only is that not the best for rosacea, because heat will kind of trigger that rosacea, but I would rather the sunscreen, just bouncing those UV rays off. So that's always your last step before makeup.
Okay.
Another thing to keep in mind is powdered sunscreen is your best friend ever if you are a makeup wearer, or you just don't really like the greasy feeling of sunscreen. Like me, I want to be a grease ball all day because I think that I just think it looks good. It's my preference.
You like the glow.
Yeah, I like a glow. That's a lot nicer than greasy. But so powdered sunscreen for reapplication throughout the day is awesome because you can put it on top of makeup. It goes in your purse really easily. And again, normally with mineral sunscreens, with a powdered sunscreen, they are mineral ingredients.
We have a question. Does the Luscious Lips have some sunscreen protection?
It does. Yeah, I wasn't sure if we still had that in stock, so I didn't want to mention that one. But it is a SPF gloss. So if you want more of that kind of, you can put it on top of even just regular lipstick to add a little bit of sheen, or you can wear it by itself and you get that nice little kind of pouty lip.
Got it. Gosh, this has been so great, Gabby. So thank you for all
I feel
of
like we're
that.
at a slumber party.
I know, it kind of feels that way. And what's interesting is it's amazing how much I think all of us, now that we're getting very good on this, and it's taken us many more years to get in a good regimen, but having you kind of explaining this to us, plus going to countless meetings and realizing these energy equipment that I lecture on all the time, that most doctors don't understand the necessity of pH and how that impacts the ocular surface. So we talk a lot about this now in the practice with our patients. So when you come in and we're asking you all these crazy questions about all the products you're using, we're trying to figure out what's causing that ocular surface disease. This is the most important foundational step, is preparing your skin and protecting it so that we're not causing further damage to the ocular surface. And I do think Miss Stevie has some specials going on here for those of you that have stayed to the bitter end here of our webinar. Shall you take it away, Stevie?
Yeah, I love this part. I just have one more thing to write down real quick. Okay, got it. Okay, so we're going to give everybody a chance. Somebody's going to win one each of the core 4 products. And we're also going to have all of our skincare, all of it, on sale for the whole month of August for 20% off. So choose one, pick it up, and show me who I'm picking for.
Bubbly Fresh.
Okay, so the Bubbly Fresh, that goes to Ruth F. Let me write this down. Okay, so
Next, we have my favorite serum ever, Calm Cool Corrected.
that goes to Terry.
Terry girl.
All right. Let's see, what else do we have? And
We
I would say,
have-
woo, Terry,
And then-
Ruth.
My favorite. I can't call all these my favorite, but this really
No,
is.
that one is truly my favorite.
And for everyone that doesn't know, it opens by twisting this, and I've had people call me being like, my thing is broken.
Yep. Okay, so that goes to Debbie S.
S.
Yes.
S.
All right. Choice of sunscreen.
Wait, just a second.
And I have a
this
feeling most people
is-
will pick Sunkissed, but maybe I have, influenced people to like the glisten a bit, because I really do like this one. And it does look slightly tinted when you put it on the skin. to, spread on the face, but that's just because it is a zinc sunscreen. So they do that so you don't look like a ghost walking about outside. So
I
this one,
actually have the Sun-Kissed on today as my foundation.
yeah, it's awesome. And
It
it's
really
nice and
is.
lightweight too. So it doesn't feel like you're kind of suffocating under it. But yeah, so men use this one all the time, and I put it on them after treatments. They have no idea. I get the boyfriend to wear it. It's perfect.
And that's for Tiffany.
Yay. Congratulations to all the winners.
Yes, we
This was
appreciate
a
all
fun
of
one.
you.
We get so many
Yeah.
winners.
This is great.
Mhm.
Well, we're here for everybody, and definitely, this foundational piece is great. Thank you so much, Gabby, for helping us all understand the proper way to go about it. Amy asked some great questions that we're all kind of burning to know about. Does it really matter on the sequence? And you explained that beautifully from the chemical structure. So I think now that we know what we should be doing, let's start doing it, adding it to our nightly regimen and morning regimen, as well as our lid hygiene, always, of course, at night. That's the most important time. And Stevie, thank you so much for coming up with all the prizes. And I know all of our folks that tuned in today, I'm sure you learned one or two things. I did too. I think it's great. I think we have maybe one more question before we'll end for the day. Oh, thanks, Terry. She said, for someone on a budget just beginning the rosacea skincare routine, what products would you begin with, and how often before you need to resupply? That's a really great question.
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, sunscreen. This is going to avoid any further damage, especially like if you're already using OcuSoft. I know a lot of people that they're stubborn and they don't want to do skincare and they use this. And I'm like, well, at least it's not going to hurt you. So some people use this on the whole face. If you do have dry skin, I wouldn't. I would go with sunscreen, some type of moisture. So whether like this is still moisturizing, so you can use just a serum or the Dew Restore. It's kind of like a, pick your favorite child situation with picking between moisturizer and serum. But you could get away with either one. I do like that, the moisturizer has niacinamide, which is evening that skin tone, but then they both have antioxidants. I would go with moisturizer. And then the Bubbly Fresh. So if you had to choose a more minimal, I would go with these three, a sunscreen first and foremost, of course. But that's still, it's picking favorites. I can't do that.
Can you use like the Dew Restore, add it to the Revive? Can you do? Okay.
Yeah, so some people choose to do that. The thing with this, I like to really mention, let it dry onto the skin, because it can get a little weird if you don't let it sink in all the way, and it doesn't mix in well if you apply them separately and not wait for it to dry. So you can either do one of the following: wet skin, apply this, go do something for 5 minutes while that dries, then apply your Revive. Or you can mix them if you need a little bit more moisture. So if you have like super dry skin, it's winter and just nothing is helping, this is a really good additive to you can really mix this in with a lot of different things. That being said, I've had some people that use this on their arms. Please don't. This is for this only, because this is like liquid gold. Keep it for the good stuff. And whenever you have extra product on your hands, then you can do one of these. Make it so that your hands stay that nice, pretty young hands. But yeah, this is definitely, again, it's picking my favorite out of my children. Like I can't choose between all of these.
I love it. I love it. That's great. Well, it's just understanding all of this, and the fact that, when you use such a teeny amount, this stuff lasts a long time. It's really impressive to me how the quality, unlike other things that I'd buy in the store, I'd run through it really quickly. This stuff lasts for a very, very long time. I get about close to 5 months out of everything. I'm always really impressed by that. So thank you again, Gabby. Thank you to our Foley Vision family, Amy and Stevie, and all of you out there who tune in on a monthly basis. Next month, September, we'll be talking about IPL. So that's why this is so important for us to understand how we prep for these energy treatments how we're going to fall into fall with IPL. And that's going to help us take care of any damage we've had from our summertime fun, as well as treating our ocular surface disease and rosacea. So on that note, enjoy August. Have a fun time, guys. Stay safe in the sun. Get your sun kissed on every day. And we'll see you next month.
Enjoy your rest of the summer. Bye, guys.
Bye.